my lovely kittens, Peri coming to you from my bedroom. As you may see, I rebranded. This is now the Periwinkle channel. Before we get to the topic of this video, I would love if you like this video to give it a like and maybe become one of my lovely kittens. You don't need to be a furry or even a cat person to be a kitten. Just simply sub and the ears will appear. And if you want the tail, you gotta click that bell. Now for the video's topic. It's been made clear in my intro video that I am a bisexual woman, and everyone who had their gay awakening could narrow it down to a few cartoon characters. Kid cartoons from the early 2000s had very big name cartoons like Avatar, Danny Phantom, Code Lyoko, the list goes on. And within these good shows hold well-expanded characters and character development, making the characters more human-like and relatable for young children. It's not unheard of with a generation that grew up on cartoons to have a cartoon crush. I had a few guy friends tell me that Sam from Danny Phantom was their first cartoon crush. I could even say that a cartoon crush of mine was number 4 from Codename Kids Next Door. But this video is based around female characters I grew up watching. This video isn't just to tell my story, but to also give insight. I would like for the people that are disgusted with my lifestyle to hear me out. If you think I'm committing a sin based on your religion, if you think it's unnatural, or just dislike the LGBT for no reason than to say you don't like it, I'd like to ask you to come into this video with an open mind. For I am going to give a perspective that I never seen or heard towards you all, as to why you can't just shield your kids to prevent them from being gay. Because being gay isn't a choice. It isn't taught behavior. It's simply within our DNA. It's who we are just as much it is to have the color of your skin. So let's get started to explain my awakening with children's shows as far back as my toddler years. It's important to know that growing up, I never knew what gay even was. I never thought of it, never knew the terms, never told it was good or bad. Hell, I thought Katy Perry was a boy for the longest time after hearing her song I Kissed a Girl, because only boys can kiss girls. That wasn't taught behavior, I just grew that mentality. However, the one show that stopped this mentality in my tracks was Avatar. Specifically the Freedom Fighters episode from Book 1. The character that got my 7-year-old self blushing was Smellerby. I can't really explain this one very well, but as we get further into this list, it becomes clear. I would watch Avatar on Netflix, back when it was not only cheaper, but it was also very new. However, going into Book 2, I had a mental breakdown over the fairy scene, where she explains to Iroh that she was actually a girl. This was the moment. The first time it was made clear to me that I liked girls as well, but never came to accept it till the 5th grade. If I could go back further into my childhood and actually recall other moments, it would be with the show Totally Spies. A trio of high school girls having a secret life of being, well, spies. Each girl had their own personality and unique style, and the one from the 3 that had my attention the most was Alex. I guess what drew me to her as a character was she wasn't in a specific female category. She's shown both girly and tomboy traits. It was also made known she had a love for animals, as I do as well. I'm not sure if I can count this as an animated crush or a self-insert, but I had always been drawn to her as a character. Now, this next character won't be very surprising, but Raven from Teen Titans. You cannot tell me you would not let her step on you. I'm a dominant female myself, but with the few I'd let dominate me, Raven is one of the few. There really is no more to explain here. If you haven't seen Teen Titans and don't know who I'm talking about, go watch it then. Why are you still here in my video? Go watch it! Recess, a show on Disney that I have little memory of. But I remember it's about elementary school students, where about 98% of the show takes place during recess. Duh. This show makes the field look as if it has its own law, with a kid declared as king of the playground. However, when it comes to the characters that put red in my cheeks, Spinelli comes to mind. She's the tomboy type, rough around the edges, very loyal to her friends. She tends to resort to violence when met with a problem. I can see that the tomboy type may be my type of girl. This next character is also very popular for boys to have their first cartoon crush. But Shigo from Kim Possible. A green-skinned woman whose evil masterminds Dr. Draken's right-hand man. I would say the relationship is similar to Karen and Plankton from SpongeBob, where Draken has a master plan, but once it's foiled by Kim, Shigo scolds him, mockingly, belittling. At least that's how I remember everything. Another good show from the golden Disney cartoon era. A real gem for me with these cartoons is Puffy Amiyumi. It doesn't help that at this time I really gained the love I have for Japanese culture. And for Disney to hold this show that aired alongside Lilo and Stitch and Dave the Barbarian, I just adored this show. Back in the day, I would watch this show with my cousin. However, we only inserted ourselves due to the girl's hair color. I always liked pink, so I saw myself as Ami, and she liked purple, so she saw herself as Yumi. But as time went on, we saw that our personalities didn't really match who we assigned ourselves to be. However, even though this entry is still another self-insert and not a cartoon crush, I feel I can still say I have a thing for Yumi. She's a punker, how could I not? Fun fact about these girls though. For those that have seen Teen Titans, this show is actually made by the girls who sung the intro song. Going down this list, I noticed I found a lot of my crushes from the Disney tunes that came on right after Playhouse Disney, or Disney Junior for the younger kids. And the buzz on Maggie isn't any different. A rock star fly, who wouldn't want to see that? But Maggie herself has an outspoken personality and ambitions that I admired as a kid. And I guess that admiration blossomed into something more for this character. This is a really underrated show, and I wish it would get more love. So if you're interested, please give it a watch. This one is from a more known show now, and that show is Pokemon. I'll be honest with you guys, I never got into Pokemon like I am now till I watched the Diamond and Pearl series. And I absolutely fell in love with the main harem Dawn. From her picking Piplup as her first Pokemon, to meeting Ash and Brock and all of her battles, and even the movie with the Prince of the Sea. She is a beauty, and I dare anyone tell me otherwise. Staying on Cartoon Network for a second, I like to talk about Ed, Edd and Eddy. The girl that got my attention in this show was Marie, one of the Kanker sisters. I'm sorry, I know my tastes in women have already been established and you don't need any more explanations of tomboy traits. But Marie is more than that. Even though she and her sisters live in the trailer park right off the cul-de-sac, where stereotypically those people are seen as less educated, ignorant, and oftentimes moronic, Marie is very keen and clever, a girl with both brawn and brain. My type of woman. Sinking my teeth into the popular Nick show Danny Phantom, I found myself in love with a very minor character, only having one episode to herself and only making small appearances in maybe 3 more. I'm talking about the rock legend Ember. I loved her design as a kid, but as I got older, just listening to her lyrics, and even seeing the story itself with comics based on her song, she has such a tragic backstory, and a reason for her to want to be remembered after being forgotten by the one she loved. I love depth to a character like this. I felt like the people she hypnotized with their song, however, she doesn't need to control me to have 100% of my loyalty. I know I talked about Kids Next Door about number 4, but he was my boy crush. The girl that had my attention from this show was actually number 5, or Abby. The butt-kicking, sass-mouth girl who never goes anywhere without her hat. She is number 1's right-hand man, which should explain her responsible nature. I don't know, there was always something about her character that I found charming. A lost gem from my childhood had to be the Weekenders. I don't remember where it was aired or when. It even took me a good 10 years to remember the show even existed and extended hours trying to find the name. But the second I saw Lore again, it all came rushing back. Out of all of the tomboy characters I had put on this list, remembering everything, Lore was the first female character that I had a spark for. I specifically remember not liking the episode where she confronts her crush, and I never understood why till finding the show again. Out of her group of friends, she's the most athletic, but lacks the ability to stay focused in class. The Weekenders was such a great show, and I'm so happy I can remember this diamond in the rough for me. I can't talk about cartoon crushes without mentioning the first anime I ever watched. I can remember I was roughly 5 years old when I would sit up on early Sunday mornings just to see Toonami back when it was first aired. I specifically stayed up to watch Inuyasha. It was the first anime I watched, ever, and I still occasionally go back to watch it. Even though Lord Shishomaru was the first male character I was captivated by, the female role that caught my attention was Sango, the Demon Slayer. Her character is just so nurturing and caring, but she's also a badass. Her story is filled with sorrow after losing not just her family, but her entire village due to the trap placed by the powerful demon Naraku. She travels with the gang we come to know as they are all in search for Naraku and need him destroyed. Continuing on the anime path, we're going to a relative anime to Inuyasha, as the manga they were based on were written by the same mangaka, Ranma Half. You may be surprised for me to say my crush from the show was not the tomboy martial arts fighter Akane, but the kind-faced and equally badass Shampoo, a lilac-haired woman from China who placed the kiss of death on Ranma after he defeated her in a fight. For it was the girl half of Ranma that defeated her, Shampoo swore to kill her. With the kiss placed on Ranma, Shampoo now has the ability to track him wherever he goes, and that includes back to Japan. Just like Ranma, she too fell into a cursed spring. But Ranma turned into a woman in cold water and his father a panda. Shampoo turns into the most adorable pink cat you could ever see in your life. And it's even funny to know that Ranma has a huge, gigantic fear of cats. To see him run and scream in terror as Cat Shampoo chases him is literally the best gif I need in my life. Real interesting slice of life anime I highly recommend. Moving on to a different anime style, I want to talk about the anime Soul Eater. And if you know this anime, my female crush from this one is of no surprise. Blair the Magic Cat. Is there really any more to say? Blair, a big-breasted magical neko. There's literally nothing else that needs to be said. But I guess I could say she has a trickster personality, as well as an obsession for the leading man's soul. Super funny seeing her cling to him when she wants attention. Some say they find her useless, but I feel she did a good job at fighting off witches when the gang was trying their best to defeat the Kishin. But that's just me. To each their own. That's all I can really remember right now. This video was made for two reasons. Firstly, as stated in the beginning, I wanted to express to those who say I'm sinning, going to hell, or just plain not right in the head and need to be fixed. My memories is definitive proof that homosexual traits are expressed at a very young age. It may not have been, ooh, I'd love for this character to be in bed with me. That's not what homosexuality even is. Unless you're on the A spectrum, everyone has personal attraction. You can't stop the emotions of your children. The only thing you can do is sit back and let them choose the path for themselves. And even if you try to shield them from this, they will still find out. They will still discover themselves. They will still end up gay, whether you like it or not. That's not to say all your children will be gay. But you shouldn't make your kids afraid of being true to themselves because you deem it unnatural. How they want to live their lives isn't harming anyone. So there is no need to disown them, all because they love who they love. I also just wanted to share my story with the rest of the LGBT community, and I'd like to hear yours. So tell me, who was your first animated gay awakening? I would love to know everyone's story just as I shared mine. Hope you enjoy the art behind me and that all my kittens wake up every morning with fruit juice and sugar. And I'll hope to see you next time.